Hello, everybody, and welcome in. Today, we are going over reveals that Hasbro did at the New York Toy Fair, or whatever the frick it was. They gave us the first look at CX bays and some exclusives. Basically, their entire Wave 4. Starting with the first thing they showed us was. Let me find it. Wizard Arc R455 Low Orb, I believe. At first, they showed it to us through Australia's Beyblade community, where they got access to it early to show off, though not really unbox or use. Then at the toy fair, they had this on display for people to look at. We can see how 455 looks now, and it is really similar to 385, which I do wonder if every 55 ratchet's going to look like that, or every ratchet that has a height below 60 or in above 80, or what it is. We also get the first clear look at the round assist blade, I think it is, for TT. For Hasbro, it's called the auxiliary blade. It looks, kind of the exact same as the Wizard Arc blade itself does, but I do see, I guess, what they're going for in, like, increasing spin time. Low orb is, low orb, and we get to see a bit more of the lock chips, which are literally just face bolts, as far as I can tell, except they do also determine the base spin direction, I think. Let's see, other pictures of Wizard Rod. This is the completed side view. Nope, wrong one. Right, this is the front view. Then we got Hell's Reaper T470K, I believe. This is actually the first look we got at this bay, like, at all, because Takara Tomy was keeping this from us. So we get to see what all the parts look like. As far as we can tell, this K bit is just taper, but a lot flatter. So I guess it's closer to flat than it is to taper now. And then 470 is 470. Nice looking black and red though. Lock chip looks pretty cool. And the auxiliary blade T, I'm guessing it's turn, like the turn frame in Burst Chosetsu, where you can change its orientation to have it focus more on attack or stamina, because that's how they advertise it on the box. We got the side view. Here we can see, just like I said, how K looks a lot flatter than Taper. Anyways, next up, Dran Brave, or Courage Dran for Hasbro, 660 Vortex. Sure enough, Vortex is just a right version of Cyclone, which is cool because I do think it's a nice bit concept, and it gives yet another rush variant for people to use. 660 again looks really similar to 560. I think it'll be good since the protrusions aren't that extended, or at the very least, it'll be good on low sitting bays like Silver Wolf or something. I will try it on Wolf once I get this bay, but we have the Dran Brave, well, the Dran Lock Chip and Brave Blade, which sure enough, this does just look exactly like Brave Valkyrie, and the Auxiliary Blade, which is, I honestly don't remember what this one was called, but it reminds me kind of God Valkyrie's frame. I don't it was like Magnum, I think, maybe, because you can see how like these ridges here are intended to amplify attack. Though honestly, I don't think auxiliary blades as a mechanic are going to work at all, considering that one, this is plastic, and two, it makes the base so much taller. It's just going to be a whole lot easier to hit it, I guess. Then we have Dark Perseus B 680W. Instead of changing it to Destroyer like they did for Metal Fight, it is just straight up Perseus, which I find very interesting. This gives us our first good look at, I believe it is Wedge, which sure enough is just like Wedge from Burst, except it's not a metal bottom, and it has the teeth on it are kind of like that of Rush or Cyclone, but also they're like oddly extended. I guess if anything, I'd call it a mix of Spike and Rush. 680 is the same as 660. The bumper, I believe, auxiliary blade is the same as the bump frame from Burst God. The dark blade still looks absurd to me. Like there's no way this shape does anything good unless it's extremely heavy. Can't wait to get quoted on that when this thing becomes meta. And the Perseus chip does, as far as we can tell, look like a solely right spin chip, but I do think that at the very least this blade, or maybe the chip, I don't know, is going to be able to be dual spin. That is my guess. And we'll get an evolution kind of like Diabolos from Beyblade Burst Gachi. We see more of Hasbro's Way 4 releases. We have Black Shell renamed to Obsidian Shell in a booster. We get to see Soar Phoenix without a metal coat, 580 Hexa, which, considering the whole Mold 3 Phoenix thing, this would be an extremely good purchase for someone who needs spare parts. Keel Shark 160Q. It's good for 160, and that's about it, but there's better ways to get 160 in this wave. We also see down here a zoomed in uh, Reaper Incendio, I think is what they decided to call it, and also part of the Dark Perseus box. We have Pearl Tiger 360U and a new Gill Shark, which is a stamina type shark, and I find that very funny. And people are saying it's a Shelter Drake retool, which I kinda see it, but it honestly almost looks like its own bay completely. I doubt it'll be very good, but it is interesting. We have the Custom Buster, which I assume is based on one of the video game recolors. It has 570 disc ball for some reason, which is Wizard Rod stock combo. Then we have Hammer Incendio. Finally, we get Hexa from Hasbro. It is honestly very interesting that they have so many, like, meta parts. Like, there's two ways to get 160, two ways to get Hexa, Wizard Rod, Dran Buster. Along with the new parts, this is a, like, extremely appealing wave. I mean, appealing, but there's also stuff like Shinobi Shadow, and Wand Wizard 160 Rush, which is, excluding the CX bays, easily the best release of this wave, because it gives you three parts that are all meta. Even though Rush is a lot easier to get these days, it's still so helpful to have spares with how easy it wears out. And lastly, Leon Crest with the Phoenix Rudder set Sphinx Cowl. I do find it interesting that Phoenix Rudder isn't coming out in this wave, seemingly. But I guess, considering they put the CX stuff in early, they didn't have the necessary space to include Phoenix Rudder. It is very funny, though, that from the looks of it, we're getting Black Shell, Vice Tiger, and the CX bays in the same wave. And if I heard right, the bays should be coming out around fall. As far as I've heard, there are some Amazon listings in Germany that have been put up, although I don't think they're like. I think they're just pre orders, but it is very interesting that they're already out considering when Cobalt Dragoon got put up for pre order and Wizard and Dren Buster, they all came out earlier than they did at stores. So I think if you want any of these bays early, try to keep a close eye on your local Amazon listings. But that is it for now. Probably, hopefully, going to get to upload some tournament videos soon, because I wanted to upload a video of my last 404 tournament that I won, but the stream seemingly got deleted, so I might not be able to do that. But I will do my best to stream on Beyblade Day. which is March 21st, if you didn't know. But that's for next time. For now, that's all. Hope you all enjoyed the video, and I'll see you all next time.